Hello, guys. This is another episode of Networking in the Cloud, and from where we left off from the previous video, the video was about the fundamentals of application load balancer ALB, and now this is just a continuation of it. It's going to be ALB with autoscaling. Why autoscaling? Now, autoscaling, a lot of people use autoscaling for different things, but this is very important in the way that you remember the previous web server that we built. Maybe it just got so popular and you have a lot of traffic coming to that web server. Eventually, the web server is going to be performing poorly, and you don't want that. You want to be able to make it available. You want it to be able to serve traffic to your client, and this is why we use autoscaling, because you can use autoscaling to launch thousands of servers, hundreds of servers, so that these servers can be servicing your customer or your client at the same time, and they won't even know what is going on. And you also, we have rest, because you wouldn't have to say, you wouldn't have to wake up in the middle of the night and say, oh, I need to make sure that the server is working optimal. I need to make sure that the server is not overheating, is not, the CPU is not going up, and things are going down. So you want to be able to show, you want to ensure that things are working optimally. So autoscaling is going to launch it for you, and in the event that one server failed, or maybe the underlying hardware of that EC2 is misbehaving, you don't have to worry about it, because autoscaling is going to detect that, and it's going to replace that server for you. And that is it. And one thing that scaling does, that like I said, a lot of people use scaling for different things, is that maybe you want to, and that's a policy. We're not going to be doing that today. I'll just explain. So that's in the event that maybe you just want to start out with 3 servers, and you want to be like, okay, when I see that there's a lot of traffic coming to this, I want to be able to increase these to 20 servers. And by the time I see that the traffic has reduced, that people are no longer, it's off sales, I want to return back to my 3 servers. That's the work of auto scaling. But in this situation, we're just going to be looking at just using it with auto scaling and see what it's going to be. And we will start off with 3 servers, and by the time, and we'll probably take out 1 server and see how auto scaling comes into play. So enough of talk, and let's just get a reaction. So as you can see on my screen here, we have the elastic load balancer from the previous video. So we don't need to do anything here. We already have that set up. So I come to autoscaling group here. We can see we don't have any autoscaling group at the moment. And we can create one. We can give it asg.net. And launch template, we don't have one yet. We can then create a launch to create a launch template. Yeah, I can see. So at this page, we're going to be creating our template. We can call it temp.net, and this we can call it test servers, and we can leave the rest as it is. AMI require, we can just choose Amazon Linux, and instance type, don't include in the long template. We can just choose T2 micro for our instance type, and that should be, and KPI name. If this is for login, I have one KPI name here. That's for the template. And we want to do it in a VPC, not in EC2 Classic. For our VPC, we want to choose the web SG for our security group. Yeah. And if you look at the security group, we can't see the details of the security group. The security group was the security group that we used in a previous video. The security group, what it has inside is just allowing SSH to itself and HTTP traffic from the load balancer, not the word. So you want to make sure of that, because we want the load balancer only to be able to access the instances. So that is what we want. So yeah. So advanced detail, this is, let's just check what we have here, so we don't need anything from these. This is the part I'm going. So this part is where we want to have our scripts, our bash scripts imputed. So this is very important, because this is the script that we are going to use to set up the web servers. And now we can create our launch template. it is successfully created. So next step, launch an instance in this template. This is create an auto-scaling group. So this is exactly what we want to do. We want to create an auto-scaling group with this template. So wait for it. So our group name is G and auto-scaling group 1. We can yeah, we can just leave it like that. So launch template, this is just keep it at default. We want to start with 3 instances. Adhere to launch template. We want to start with 3 instances, so we can choose subnet 1 and subnet 2, and we have the last subnet. So that means that each server is going to create in different subnets. So this is what we have. So, and this, we want to click this, receive traffic from one or more load balancer. Target group, you already know that we have a target group that we created from the previous video, which is web HTTP. And this makes this will make sure that the instances, by the time they are created, they are registered automatically into the target group. And as we can see that this is the default edge check type is EC2. So at this point, there's nothing more we need to do. We just click create. So we keep this group at its initial size. And if we check this is the part that I was telling you about, that you can use the scaling policy to determine during the peak period and off-peak period. But for now, we just keep it at this initial state size, and we keep we review. So this is for the name. I think this already have. This is for the tag. Scaling group is G group. It's a tag new. Okay, this is tag new instances with this name server. So we can review this here, and we can create the auto scaling group. So the auto scaling group has been created successfully. So let's just see what is going on here. So we have the scaling group, 3 instances, desire, and if we move this up a little bit, we can see that we have this here, the instances. We can see there are 3 instances that has been created already, each in separate AZ. And the status here, we can see that the status here is saying that it's LV. So we have our target group, which is the web HTTP. If we go to targets, you see that we have targets here. Even though they are all showing as unhealthy, I should have corrected this earlier on, because on the previous video, I was telling you that it took a while before they changed back to healthy, because I have an aggressive unhealthy threshold that is smaller than the time it takes for the instances to be up and running and to finish executing the script. But you can see, even as I'm talking now, you can see that as it keeps checking for the as the load balancer keeps checking the health check, you can see that they are all changed status to healthy. So we just need to adjust that unhealthy threshold a little bit, not aggressive. So as we can see here, this is good. This is what we want to see. If we go to our load balancer, we can still copy this. Let's just open another tab so that we can be sure that that's exactly what we are saying. And you can see we have that here. And so that is good news. If we go back to our auto scaling group that we have, it is one thing I want to point out to us about the auto scaling group. I said earlier on that auto scaling group, it's so good in ensuring that it replaces our failed instance. Whenever there's an instance that is failed, it can replace that for us. And another thing that we might want to if we look at, let me just quickly find where that is. If you miss it or you were able to see it, okay. So I think this is the part. So if we look at, let me just scroll a little bit down, our health check, yes. This is the place I'm looking for. If you look at the health check type says EC2, because I told you that the auto-scaling group is able to detect the failed EC2 instance and to replace it. But then there's something cool is something interesting is what I'm going to show you here. The more advanced one to do is to choose the ELB, because ELB not only will check for the EC2 instance, it will also check for if there's an application failed. If you have an application issue going on with that particular instance, the ELB will be able to detect that and will be able to make necessary change. So we want to click on edit here, which will take us back to this part, and we go to the health check. You can see it's even saying that the EC2 health check is always enabled. So that is the default. But if in addition to that, you can also put the ELB, which will not only check for EC2, but at the same time will be checking for the ELB, the application part of it. And you can then go ahead and update that. So that's a very good security feature that you want to put there, and a failover free feature. And let us see, and let's try and see if this is, if autoscaling group can replace our EC2 instance for us. So we are just going to go here and remove and terminate one of the EC2 instances. Let me just go ahead and terminate one of these in A, and so that we can see if it's going to replace that for us. And the beauty thing is that that does not stop the load, but the website from still running. The website will still continue to run, as we can see, to still keep running, because we have now multiple. So if we decide to go here, you can see we're still Hello Networking in the cloud. This is still working. So let's just check, as this is being deleted. Let's check our auto scaling group to see what is going on with that. Oh, waiting for ALB connection draining, indicating it has been terminated or stopped. So you can see an instance was taken out of service response to, because of the failed health check. The EC2 as the autoscaling group has identified that something is going on wrong. And if we look at it, pre service launching a new instance, you can see it can determine that an instance was started in response to a different between desired and actual capacity, increasing the capacity from 2 to 3. So we can see that something is going on. If we check the instance level, we will see that another one is already being launched, and before you know it, you can see one is here running, replacing the failed instance. And that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. And the next video that's going to be coming up will be the path-based routing with ALB, which is for our target group. We can see how the target group can be created in a way that it should move different. It will determine which target group, if you're going to this particular URL, which target group am I to go? If I'm going to this particular URL, which target group is it set for me? And I hope you enjoy it. Thank you, guys. Please subscribe and hit the notification button, and let me know in the comment section what type of video you would like to see. Thank you.